Hey everyone, and welcome to the Infinite Respawn podcast. I'm Chicken.
I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Grif.
I'm Baka.
What's up,
What up?
guys?
What's up?
How's it going? Welcome back, Oak, again.
Thank you very much.
So, are you done traveling for like a few weeks now?
Yeah, until January.
Okay, just checking.
That's my goal right now, anyway. Unless the chair company that has been talking to me wants to fly me back up to Canada, and otherwise, no, I'm not going anywhere.
I just needed to know how many more pictures I should stockpile.
Oh, that's a good point.
A
All of
bunch.
them.
Yeah, just stockpile a bunch of pictures.
Do you have an entire hard drive dedicated to my absences? That's awesome.
What games have everybody been playing this week?
I can tell you about what I did at EGLX.
Okay.
So, basically, the few games that I did get to play, because there wasn't a whole lot of selection there. I know at a video game thing, that's kind of weird, right? At least not ones that I haven't already played. One of the things that I was very interested in, especially being here from the South and being big college football fans, in 2014, the last NCAA 2014 came out, which was EA's college football game. But they got sued because of likenesses and all this other, so we haven't had any other college football games. Well, there's one that's sponsored by Doug Flutie. It's Doug Flutie's Maximum Football 2019. It's $30. It's on Xbox. It's on PlayStation. I got to play a little bit of it, and it was, relatively fun. They can't use. I think it's funny because, as we know, I'm a big, massive Alabama fan. Well, of course, you can't say Alabama and then whatever the team is. So they have to figure out licensing-wise what to do. Well, the University of Alabama is lake-cut in Tuscaloosa, so they have a team for Tuscaloosa, but they couldn't have an elephant as a symbol because that was what the real University of Alabama symbol is. So, but they have one where you can change it to that. Instead, they ended up naming it Tuscaloosa Pride, and it was a picture of a lion, and then you just change that and change the name to whatever you want it to be.
That's like a mashup of Chicken's two favorites. It's the Alabama
Yes.
team with the Detroit Lions mascot.
There you go,
together.
right there.
Maybe that's how we could actually win.
Oh, no.
So I went through and I played the game, and I was expecting it to play a little bit more like the NCAA 2014 games were, but it plays more like the 2K games were. So which didn't have, bad mechanics at all. It played fine. But the game ended up glitching on me during my first game. And the way it glitched was very strange. I was on both teams and picked both plays and was controlling a character on both at the exact same time. So it was very interesting.
That's how it's supposed to work.
So it was
You would never
very
lose that way, though. You'd be like, all right,
Right?
we're going to run this play because I want you to win. And you're going to run
if
this
I
thing that
didn't-
doesn't make sense.
If I didn't know this company was a 3-man team, and I mean literally a 3-man team, there's one that's a programmer, one that's the marketing guy, and another dude that's kind of a gopher between the two trying to get, stuff done, right? It's literally a 3-man. The whole crew was at the event. So it's kind of like, what do you do? If I didn't know that, then I would probably been upset, but the guy even said, we're going to continue to send updates out and things like that. So the game's going to continue to improve. And I was like, okay. As long as I have that information before I buy this thing, we'll be fine. So I paid my $30. I played it the other night, and once that happened, I was like, okay, I'm gonna move on to something else. So, which happened to be Call of Duty Modern Warfare. The new one came out, and I'm a campaign guy. I'm happy there's a campaign. I like price, so let's see what we can do. And I am very pleasantly surprised about this game. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely looks fantastic. The only problem I have with it right now is for some reason the cinematics want to freeze up on my PC, and I've yet to figure out why they're doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's other issues I think with, like, I think it crashed people's Xboxes, PlayStations were having issues. So, but this game is 130 gigabyte download.
You're downloading
is-
a straight 30 gigs of bugs.
Yeah, so I was like, holy shit. So you got 130 gig download, and I was like, okay. And then I wanted to play Outer Worlds like later this week, so I went ahead and started downloading. It's 36 gigabyte for an open world game with all this
Yep.
dialogue, and I'm like, what? Why am I spending so much money? But now I will say, the shit looks real. They did bring back some of the night vision stuff that we're used to, including some stuff where you're up in a helicopter and having to shoot down planes, shoot down, that type of thing, which is some of the stuff we liked in the previous games. They do a really good job of making you feel uncomfortable in this game, which I think is great because it's war, right? And so there's actually an instance to where you're having to raid a terrorist area, if you will. And actually, a friend of mine said it was almost verbatim the Osama bin Laden raid, based on his knowledge of it.
Okay.
So as you're going through, you're having to be quiet and all that, but you don't know who's innocent and who's not. So you might be sitting there and your heart says, I don't want to shoot this person, but then they pick up a gun and start shooting at you. So you have that whole possibility. One of them's a mom going after a baby. It's like she's going after the baby and you're like, okay, well, I got to make sure I don't shoot her. That type of thing. And then there's another part of the game to where it's a flashback and you're a kid in a war during that particular part. And I think it's really, really emotionally, they're trying to bring back a good storyline, which I'm fucking impressed with so far. It's not garbage that they've just reiterated several times. It's like they took their time with it. They realized what they did right when they created Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, and they go, we're sorry for all the fuck ups we've done for so long. Let's see if we can do this. Now, I'm going to be really mad if I'm almost done with the game because I'm like 4 to 6 hours into it. I'll be really pissed if I'm really close to, but maybe I get another, 6 hours out of it and I'll be happy. 12, 14 hours I think is pretty good for a campaign, especially if it's 130 gigabyte download and you can't convince me that's the fucking multiplayer.
I bet it is. I bet
It is.
all of the cosmetics and everything that go along with the multiplayer side of it.
Maybe. But, it's just... Yeah, it's really well done acting wise. It's so far it's really, really well done. So I'll just have to let y'all know next week how it turns out. I might be like, motherfuckers, they screwed it up at the end, whatever. But so far so good, and we'll just have to see. If this works out well, I'm interested to see what they end up doing with the other Call of Duties, or if it's just we're going to have to every 3 years look forward to Infinity Ward creating another Call of Duty instead of the other two companies,
or
Sledgehammer and whoever
recreating
it
a
was.
previous Call of Duty.
Right. So, but it's good. I recommend it.
Well,
that's all I got.
You mentioned Outer Worlds and having not played it yet. I did start Outer Worlds. I'm playing it on PC because thanks Xbox Game Pass, I can play it for free and bypass the Epic Store. So, right? So I started that. It's been interesting so far. I have seen nothing but good things about it, but I am really, still pretty early, I guess, in, the tutorial world of it, the first place that you go to and whatnot. And there's something about the combat that I can't put my finger on that doesn't feel as smooth as it should to me. But I can't, like I said, I can't put my finger on it, so I can't tell you what it is that seems off about it.
Now, what I've heard from it is it's a good combination of Fallout and Mass Effect. Are you getting that same feeling from that, or is it?
To me, it feels like Fallout and Borderlands with some BioShock theming around it. I mean, you don't have the bee hands or any shooty powers like BioShock. I just meant there's some aesthetics that definitely beckon back to that Art Deco style that BioShock liked, that still had that steampunky feel to it and everything. But it's definitely, you can tell that the people who made this, which is Obsidian, have worked on Fallout games in the past, because it really, really, really fits that model. Chicken even mentioned it because he was standing here and watching a cutscene, and it's that thing where you walk up to the NPC, and as soon as you start talking, it goes from, it being whatever your ambient thing is straight into the cutscene, the conversation, but then stuff's still happening. You could be in the middle of combat, and there's just people dying in the background and things like that. but this conversation must happen. I just haven't fully attached to it yet, but I think I'm going to. So I'm still early, but I feel like it didn't give you enough agency right out of the gate. I guess it's like, here are some important details that you should know about why you need to do these things. Okay, go forth. Land on this planet. Now that you're on this planet, you need to be the errand boy for this town, or girl, whatever you're rolling. I'm a lady. You need to be the errand girl for this town. Why? You need a thing that they have, so you have to do literally everything that they say. It's like, okay, I guess, sure. It's the protagonist of the game. I guess that's what I'm supposed to do, but realistically, this would be very jarring for your random player character. So, I don't know. I'm working on getting into it. I think that it's got a lot of good. I just haven't gotten to the really nice, juicy parts yet, because I'm still early on. So, it's also got some really great voice acting.
Interested to see, because you like RPGs, so I'm very interested to see.
I made Chicken come and look at the character creation, because I mean, you start out with an RPG, like, well, let's go Fallout 4, because it's similar in a recent RPG that I've played, but you start the Fallout 4 stuff, and it's like, here are your attributes, what do you want to put them in? Alright, we'll level you up from here, good to go, bye. Well, yeah, you get that. It gives you a thing where it's like, here's all of your attributes, you have this many points to spend, what do you want to spend them on? And then it's, like, it gives you subsets and, like, what kind of character you are. Like, you have to pick what your job was and whatnot, so that it kind of defines, like, you get a perk or negative based on what job you pick. And I was, like, a factory worker because it gives me +1 to dodge. I was like, I don't want to get hit, so let's go with that. But it's like bureaucrats.
That's a weird one too.
Like
factory worker means you can dodge better. What?
It explains all the things when you read them out, and the reason the factory workers get dodge is because you've become adept at knowing when the steam things are about to malfunction and squish somebody's fingers, so you're good at pulling your hand away. That's why you're good at dodging.
At least they came up with a reasoning behind it.
Yeah.
So basically, you're good at dodging because of unsafe work conditions.
Yes, and that's the part of the Borderlands feel to me is, especially with Borderlands 2, is Hyperion was a major corporation that was trying to run everything. Well, in this one, it's a major corporation with some smaller corporations, and everybody, like, you work for these corporations. Like, you came into space, and once you land on the planet, wherever you're going to be, you are now company property. You are no longer a person, you are company property. So, yeah, it's weird. That's been interesting. I'm going to go play some more because the power went out when I was trying to have a conversation earlier, and I'm trying to wrap up the tutorial, and the power went out. I was like...
Wait, in my place and your place, the power going out recently. It's kind of weird.
Well, I mean,
Mine went out after my stream on Friday night. It went out because a tree fell down randomly on some power lines.
Well, this weekend it's been so windy, though, because we've got that tropical whatever that's moving through.
Disturbance.
Thanks. I was like, I'm pretty sure it wasn't a depression, but yeah.
No, just a disturbance in the force.
So.
In the weather.
That's what I've been doing, though. Baka, chicken.
Baka.
No, just WoW and killing counselors in Friday the 13th. And I killed Jason as a counselor earlier, so...
Oh, wow, really?
That's nice. Rare. That's a first
he
for a whole
almost
group.
got a hold of me, and then the person that came back as Tommy Jarvis shot him. So he led me to where his cabin was, and I grabbed the sweater. Jason kept grabbing me in there, and he kept hitting him to make him let me go so I can get in there and get the sweater, because he was trying so hard to stop us from doing it.
Well, I mean, that's his job.
Yeah. And so I grabbed the sweater. As soon as I did, he did the map teleport thing and booked it out of there. We had to go hunt him down.
Oh no! All the tables have turned. Nice job, though. None of our groups ever been able to do that.
Nope, I haven't.
We don't coordinate well enough.
We've gotten close a couple of times, but somebody just didn't have... Tommy Jarvis didn't have a sharp weapon. Because that's how you do it, right?
I think
you
I've
stun
found
him
this
as long as
before.
his mask...
machete.
Yeah, and then once you take the axe, when he's stunned, you can chop his head off.
I've started figuring out a lot of spots where his cabin spawns. So
Baka
This
is
could be
gonna
fun
reveal
next
me.
time we
Kill
decide to
Baka
play Friday the
first.
13th,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, kill
Yeah.
Baka first. Baka, where you at?
which I want to play Tuesday.
Tuesday. Okay. I don't think I have anything planned for Tuesday
Why Tuesday?
because Monday we already have
we're
plans.
playing the other thing on Monday.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see. We'll see what we can put together. Okay.
Maybe we can fill in the ranks with just other random people because most people don't talk on there anyways. So.
Oh, but that's part of the fun. Listening them to squeal. No, don't hurt me.
What about you, Chicken? What have you been doing?
A little while. Some ARMs in League, and the game that I've started putting a lot of time into is Batman Arkham Knight. I decided to check Game Pass for Xbox because I haven't checked it at all. So I was like, all right, what games are on here? I might as well find something to play. And Batman Arkham Knight is on there, and it's the only Batman game that I haven't played yet. So I was like, cool, I'll go ahead and download it and start playing it. And I will definitely say that there is a lot of truth behind people saying the car is a heavily important piece in this game.
Well, I think part of that is because for the last two games, everyone was like, well, when we drive the Batmobile, why can't we drive the Batmobile? And so they went, here, you want to drive the fucking Batmobile?
You
drive
stay
the
in this
fucking
Batmobile and you like it.
Here's
First
you a
of all,
puzzle.
puzzles.
Use the Batmobile. Here's you another puzzle. Use the Batmobile.
I will say that they made the Batmobile super fucking OP as shit. I mean, that motherfucker, first of all, it's got its drive mode, which has, like, perfect handling. You can basically 90-degree that motherfucker and just... And it has a battle mode to where if you ever turn the wrong direction, you just pop in the battle mode, turn it the right way, and just go again. It's like, you never get stuck anywhere doing anything ever.
Batmobile.
Yeah, pretty much. That motherfucker thing is just tear up everything and anything. It's also stealthy like Batman too, which I guess I'd expect.
It's a big giant car. It shouldn't be stealthy. It
Well,
shocks
there are
people
these-
to death. Okay, not death, because Batman doesn't kill people.
First of all, that is absolutely hilarious. I was wondering how they were going to handle the running over the bad guys, and they get tased whenever you run into them with the car. Like, you just watch them and then fly away. Instead of hitting them, it's...
Batman
like,
doesn't kill people,
okay.
but he will maim anybody that gets in his way.
Yeah, he will. I mean, they definitely put an extra emphasis on he will break as many bones in your body as he absolutely needs to.
As long as it doesn't kill you.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't kill you. I mean, there's a lot of pain you can get to before you die, and he will push it.
Oh, man.
But this game actually feels like a real evolution of the Batman series, because it was just the same shit in Batman Arkham Asylum, which was incredible. Arkham City, okay, bigger area to play with. That's good. More big open world. And Origins was kind of the same thing again, as an open world, and you didn't have as many powers and whatnot, but it was still the same. And in this one, the enemies are smarter. There are different kinds of enemies, and they respond a whole hell of a lot better. You can't just sit at the top of the little perches and take people up everywhere and whatnot. They will come over, let the guys down, and then set up explosives on the perches, so you can't go back to them. They can revive people that you knock out. They have sensors when you're using your scan thing. If you use it too long, they can sense where you're at and then attack you. They have turrets that can set up that are really hard, and you can only take them out from behind. They know how to group up now. They don't wander around by themselves. They're like, okay, too many people are down. Stay in pairs of two. So you've got to be more strategic on how you approach them. They're
too smart.
It feels like they actually evolved the AI. Like, you could see an actual difference in the intelligence between the AI between the games and whatnot. So that's nice. And having the car puzzles kind of breaks up the monotony.
Red Hood is
I haven't beaten the game.
Well, once you see who it is, you'll understand why they've gotten smarter in tactics.
I have a pretty good idea of who it is, but I know the game is older, but I'll save my guesses until I get there. I've been playing it pretty
I figured out who the hell it was from the get-go.
The get-go, yeah. It's kind of... If it is who I'm thinking, it's kind of obvious.
You'll know who it is.
Yeah. But I also like that you could switch characters and play too. It kind of breaks up the monotony of just playing Batman. You can play Catwoman, you can play Nightwing. I haven't gotten to the part where Robin helps you, which I assume he does at some point, and you can probably play as him too. But there's a lot more stuff that breaks it up that makes it feel fuller. Like you got the Batmobile puzzles, you have the Batman on foot puzzles, you have the flying around the city that you could do, you have the different characters that you could do. The city feels more alive too, like there's a lot more to do. It just feels like a really solid, good built
Upgrade.
evolution of Batman games.
If you want to get the real ending, by the way, make sure you're getting all the Riddler trophies.
Fuck that, I will go
and
look at
everything.
it on YouTube.
You've already given
There are
up on getting that?
234 of them bastards.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not doing that shit.
I don't like it when companies do that. If you want the real ending, you have to do this ridiculous stuff.
I mean, I'm doing like all the quests and whatnot as they pop up. Whenever Intel pops up, I'll run and go do them and just kind of fly around the city and do whatever. But there's no way I'm collecting all 230.
I don't mind an alternate ending of some sort. You know, kind of
Like
like when
Halo
you did. Yes, right. So you had this whole funny little thing with the Covenant guy and Soldier hugging each other basically when the thing's exploding, all that shit like that. It's like, oh, that's funny, you know. But it didn't matter other than that. You know, the ending was basically the ending.
Yeah. But that's what I've been playing. I really enjoyed. I think it's pretty good game, and I think I'm about halfway through the main story, a little over halfway through the main story.
I think I got 3/4 of the way through that game and stopped playing it, and I don't remember why. I don't remember why I stopped playing the game.
Knowing you, probably
that
something
sounds-
else came out.
Yeah.
Well,
Probably.
that or I mean, depending on how big of a fan he is, he probably got pissed on who the identity of the Arkham Knight dude or whatever, the dude with the red mask.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people did because they basically they were like, no, it's not anyone you think of. It's a totally new character, and then it's like you lying motherfuckers.
Baka has some feels on that one, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Not saying it's a bad game. It's a good game, but I'm pissed at it for the same reason of Link's Awakening and Mario Brothers 2. The ending, the thing, and just the trolling it feels like basically.
Well, don't spoil it. Since Chicken is in the midst of it.
Yes. Well, like I said, I have a good idea
Who it is.
of who it is, but we'll see shortly enough, I guess. Once I rescue Catwoman and finish out my main story.
Well, you guys want to talk about some news? We got some things.
The little bit of news we got.
Hey, it's things worth talking about, though, or else we would not be
Yeah,
here.
that's true.
That's true.
Oh, man. Some of it's sort of funny if you enjoy other people being terrible.
If you enjoy other people being terrible, that's how you said.
Bethesda.
Oh my God, Bethesda.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
Well, what do we want to talk about first?
Well, I mean, we brought up Bethesda. Might as well just continue on with that.
You
Well,
want to
it
just jump straight into
Kind of leads over from the game you're playing too, right?
that?
Comparatively.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you think Bethesda just can't fuck up anymore, they just pull another one out of the shit bag and decided to lay it on the table, and you're like, what the fuck is this? And how the hell did you think this was a good idea? So now, Fallout 76, which is a $60 paid for game,
That came out in early access condition at best.
A year
now
ago.
has, not even a year ago. I think we're just about at a year now.
Yeah,
It came out in November.
Yeah.
It now has a subscription.
An
to
optional, let's at least give them that. It's an optional subscription called Fallout First that gives you some perks that most people wanted to have in the game in general, like an unlimited storage bin.
All right, so here's exactly what comes with it. You get access to private worlds with mod support to come later. And by the way, it's not actual private worlds.
Let's get through the list and then we'll talk about why they're not what they say they are.
A scrap box for unlimited junk storage, a survival tent that creates a new placeable fast travel point with a stash, sleeping bag, and more. 1,650 atoms per month to use in the shop, the Ranger armor outfit, which is from Fallout New Vegas, and exclusive icons and emotes.
So some vanity stuff, some things that people always wanted, which was the sleeping bag with a stash, because man, it sucks to be in the middle of nowhere and really need to take a break and put some stuff away. But no, your camp's way over there. So then I guess it creates the problem of, do you need to run all the way back or fast travel back to your main camp and then try to come back to where you are, or do you just keep going and destroy some stuff?
That's part of the game. I mean, it's a decision where you have to decide whether what you have, is it worth going all the way back and depositing, selling, and resetting? I mean, it's part of RPGs. I mean, even in WoW, your bags get filled up. What do? Just fucking magically teleport to your bank, sell it, and then come back?
No. Well, if you're an engineer, you can make the little repair bot and sell things.
There are also mailboxes all over the world if you wanted to mail yourself some stuff, and vendors everywhere.
And they eventually gave you a portable mailbox vendor and whatever else for free if you did the Argent Dawn stuff and got the Squire and all of his bonuses.
So basically this stash thing that they've got that's on here.
The unlimited stash?
Unlimited stash.
Yep.
Is it only for your private world, or is it for any version of the game?
It should be for any version of the game. But the problem is there's a bug with it, and if you start putting stuff in it, it just deletes your stuff. So it's unlimited because it just continuously throws away all of your junk for you.
It deletes all of your stash. Everything that you have in there, it deletes it all.
Yep, permanently. It's gone now.
Which I have a problem with.
I think
obviously,
everybody has a problem.
But here's my other thing too. One of the things that they talked about was that we've complained about this game from day one is the fact they continue to add things into the game for purchase that could end up being used in order to actually pay to win, right? Mm-hmm. So technically, if you have this stash, you can fill it with whatever the fuck you want to, have it on you, and be able to go out and take somebody out because you can fill it with ammo, everything, if it worked properly. Well, it doesn't work properly, so this is like pay to lose.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
The stash isn't on you, though. Like, the stash is at your base, so you'd have to go to your base and load up on whatever goodies you wanted to go and kill people with and then come back. So...
Yeah, but even so, I mean, what the fuck is the point of a trade system now? People will just stock up on billions of everything.
Well, and that's the thing.
There's no finite resource.
They constrained you on how much you could have and made the need for it important. So, like, you need 150 pieces of scrap to build this one thing, and this is all just theoretical. But you need 150 pieces of scrap to build this one thing. Your stash will only hold 100 pieces, so you need to carry 50 on you, and then 100 in your thing, so that you can build this one thing, which limits your space. So Bethesda created a problem, and then sold you the solution in the form of an unlimited stash.
Yep, which is so fucked up. But holy shit, Bethesda, you used to, like, what is with these companies that used to be super fucking good, just apparently just fall in the toilet?
Go ahead and talk about the private servers now. Since that's what you wanted to talk about.
So with the private servers, the way that they advertise it, it looks like an actual private world with you and your 7 of your best friends, right? Invite.
Yep.
No, just 7 of your random ass friends that own the game can join in without
7 of your friends that are on your friends list. I mean, like, it could just be somebody that you met in game one time and they were cool, so you add them on your friends list, and then all of a sudden they can see your private worlds up. They can just jump right in.
Yep. Mm-hmm. It's not a private world.
Some reports.
Well, and here's the thing too: is streamers, a lot of us will have people follow us on our gamer tags, so theoretically they could just pop right in to our world.
I've also heard some stories about people going into their private servers and finding stuff already set up, or a bunch of stuff that's already been looted or destroyed. So it's like, are they really private, or are they like sharing these servers? It's like, this one's offline, so put this one on, but their world state doesn't change. So I don't know, but there's definitely something going on with those private servers. One, they should have had an option for that right out of the gate, and 2, they don't work. So apparently the number one thing on the fix list is the stash, and the number 2 thing is the server issue where they're trying to make them completely private, but I don't know what's going on with Bethesda, man.
I just feel like it's like they go, okay, we kind of released this as an early access, so anything that we add into this, we're just adding it like an early access without all the
It's not
bugs
early
worked out.
access if you charge me $60 and tell me it's a finished game. Well, granted,
here's
they
the thing.
said when it
I
launched
don't
that
have
it
a-
wasn't finished, but
I don't have a problem with them charging for the private server. I actually don't have an issue with that because that's not unusual for like, because let's use, you know, like something like Ark or Atlas or something like that. A lot of these games that are massive games like that, you pay a service in order to be able to have a server or whatever it's on. I don't have an issue with that. I do have an issue with the fact that it's not really a private server.
do you have to
And
pay
you know,
for it?
for what?
I
Like, if you,
have a server that I was playing on by myself. Could I not invite on Ark?
single player.
Is that
It's a
okay?
single
I
player
wasn't
server.
sure. I mean, I don't know how this works.
yeah, you can do single player, which is attached to you.
Okay,
But then you have server bases that are out there too. I know with Atlas, it was only like one world. Basically, it was like 4 squares, and that was it. That was all people had on there. But people would pay into it to at least host the server. It's the same thing with Minecraft. Minecraft, you have servers that you can host and go in, or you have realms, and realms are always online too. And Minecraft charges you, or Microsoft charges you like $8 a month to be able to have that realm available to you, versus just a world. So.
Gotcha.
I don't really actually have a problem with that.
I mean,
do
the
have
price
a
is $13 a month though for
It's
for that.
$13 a month if you're playing monthly, or $100 for the year. Which
right.
I mean,
So
the
if you
$100
divide,
for the year is a better deal, but
yeah,
Yeah,
Well,
it's
that's the way it should work.
$130 or $100.
better deal. You know, if you want to spend $100 to
It's-
have your entire stash disappear.
They give you that kind of discount so that they're hoping that you would just do the year to get sucked into it and commit you
Yeah.
to playing for a whole year. But either price is not worth it at all in any world, in my opinion. Like
Not
you
right
can get
now.
a WoW sub for that.
It gives you some cosmetic stuff. It gives you 650 atoms per month to use in the shop.
1650, Adam.
Yeah, sorry. What did I say? I said it wrong.
650.
Sorry. Left 1,000 off. Who cares? But yeah, it gives you money to use in the money shop. So if you would like to pay to win, there's a chance that you might be able to buy something strong. Although I imagine 1650 is low for the power items and things like that. But I don't know. I don't understand how you thought it would be a good idea to take something that didn't work at launch and then make it worse.
I don't get it either.
Ask people to pay for the worser. Like, okay, we sort of fixed some of the things with the base game, Fallout 76. They fixed some of the bugs, not all of them. There's still a lot of problems with that game a year out. But then they're like, okay, well, let's go ahead and ask you to pay some more money for these other things that we made that also don't work.
You can buy atoms with real money, right?
Yeah, that's what the
Yes.
real money store is.
So if it's giving you 1650, how much money does it cost in order to get 1650 normally?
I
Is
don't
it
know.
the same price?
Are you looking that up, Chicken?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I
'Cause I'm
have
just-
no
I'm-
idea.
Because that's my thought process. Like if it's normally $12 for 1650, which I'm going to say no, it's probably more like 20 for 1650, then I kind of get that, like in the fact that, okay, I'm getting this
I think-
1650, I'm getting this private world, I'm getting that. Like if everything worked, but it doesn't, but let's say everything worked, I wouldn't have that much of an issue, I guess. But because then I would be getting the private server. The only reason I would want this would be the private server. That would be the only reason I would want
that's
this.
one of the things that people wanted from the get-go was a solo version of this. You know, or
So you're getting about $16 worth of atoms.
but it's
$16
$16 worth of virtual currency, and their stuff is
For
inflated.
virtual
in it.
items that
Yeah.
has like no
I mean,
actual.
it's one of those things where you're like, is it a deal, really? When you think about it like that, because
Ugh.
I'm gonna use my 1650 to buy a postmaster outfit because reasons, you know. Which, by the way, some of the random stuff that you find on the ground in that game is hilarious. That's why my
Yes.
lady was wearing a bathing suit and like a weird hat or something.
Part of the fun, finding random shit and wearing it.
Fallout 76 has nuggets of fun and good ideas in it. It's just that everything around it is just terrible.
I don't want to dig through the turd just to find a small nugget of
Well,
gold.
and that's the reason I go back to the whole the idea of if the private server was legitimately a private server, You're able
Yeah,
to
then
play
it'd
with
be
your
fine.
friends, hang out, do whatever you want to with your, 7 of your best friends, and just chill.
Or
like
just
if,
by
you know-
yourself if you wanted to.
Yeah, if you just wanted to by yourself, that'd be fun too. But I don't understand. I don't understand how you fuck that up. I just don't.
You be
To
Bethesda,
be fair,
that's how.
they should have. Okay, if you want to play in a server by yourself without anybody, you shouldn't have to pay for that because you don't have to pay for it in Ark, in Atlas, anything like that. You can just
You're
make
correct
your
there.
own world, play by yourself without access to that. But if you want to host a server, that should be a sub-based thing. But by yourself should not. You should
I
have
agree with that.
access to the game by yourself.
I would agree. But I think the whole reason you're buying, I guess their thought process was if you want to have a single player mode to be able to play by yourself, go to Fallout 4, right?
Apparently,
I mean, that's their thought process.
yeah.
But I mean, the whole point to me, I
So
don't
it's basically,
understand.
don't you have Fallout 4?
Don't you
Yeah,
people
pretty
have
much,
Fallout
don't you?
4?
Don't
you
you
have
have Fallout
Fallout
4
4?
already? That's how we're paying for this game. All your purchases from that one.
Griff's got it on Xbox and PC.
To be fair, the one on PC was a gift. It was gifted to me. So technically we've only bought Fallout 4 once, but I've played it so often that it was definitely worth it. Fallout 4 was great. I freaking love that game. I was playing it a couple weeks ago. But
I just
Fallout
I don't
76 has been a
understand.
catastrophe.
Do you
Yes.
think at this point they're trying to fuck up 76 times just because of the name of the damn game?
I guess
I
so,
hope
because they're
not.
pretty
well,
damn
I mean,
close.
I don't know if you counted every
What are
bug
they at? 7,
individually.
8?
But if you
Yeah.
counted
Oh, you
every
count-
bug individually, we're way past that. Like launch was
that's
past
true.
that.
Yeah, we're like at
True.
7,600 or 76,000 at this point.
So,
I just
but
and
that's
and
Maybe
rumor had it that
it's,
they were going to go
76
to rumor had it that they were going to go to
articles
free to
about
play,
them.
right?
yeah. There was a rumor about free to play. What did you say, Baka?
Said maybe it's 76 different articles about them.
Oh, I think we're past that too.
We're way past
Yeah,
that.
way
dude.
past that.
No. I mean,
76
all
episodes
of
talking
the-
about them.
the bags and the bag debacle, and then the helmets recently with the mold issue, and yeah, we're way past 76 news articles about them.
Yeah, no shit.
They just cannot get it together. Apparently, people are protesting in game too. And it's like, why are you going to play the game to protest? That's not how protest works. You just don't play the game. You let the player numbers drop. I don't. You can't. Like,
don't-
one of them has a sign built in front of their base that says "Boycott Bethesda" and Fallout 76, and he's walking around in front of it with a picket sign, and it's like, you're still playing their game. They still have concurrent players. That's not how protest works.
Yeah, but 3 players aren't concurrent players.
Oh my god.
I feel like sometimes people do that too, just to get a hit, right?
I guess so.
They're going, oh, we'll protest in here, and then it'll go viral, and then I'll be famous for 5 minutes. I get my 15 minutes of fame done.
Well, I don't even
Yeah.
know who that guy is, so he didn't get nothing. Nothing at all.
Somebody does.
Oh man.
Just because 15 minutes of fame doesn't mean it's fame when it comes to
Oh,
you.
I
you know?
didn't realize that there was going to be an expansion that added NPCs. I thought they were just adding NPCs. I was reading the article and it says that it was supposed to be an expansion later this year, but that got pushed to 2020. So next year, maybe. But it's going to be an
Maybe.
expansion? Are you going to charge me for it? Do I have to pay
All
again?
I'm saying, no. What they've
No,
done
they
is
said
they've
that-
just did the expansions. They released them when they came out. But all I'm saying is when they release the NPCs, I'm calling this now. The game is going to turn to. I know it's hard to believe, but it's going to turn to absolute more shit. Because they have a hard time programming the way the game is. Imagine adding a shitload of NPCs into it with human components, multiple human components. That game is literally going to go, yay, pff,
Well,
and
I'm
just
thinking
die.
that some people
Or
will
it's
just
only
stand around
available
and kill NPCs.
It's only available in the private servers. You can't actually play the main game without it.
Only one server could be up at any given time. Everybody else has to wait in queue until people leave that one server and then they can play. Oh my god.
That'd really kill the game.
I just don't understand why they didn't at least set it up to, like you were talking earlier about the single player, at least set it up to where I can host, like Minecraft has worlds where I can invite people into the world, but as soon as I log out, the world's gone. Like not gone, but it's stopped for the
Yeah,
day,
as long
basically,
as
and then you
you're
go back
hosting,
in, right?
you can-
As long as I'm hosting, it's on there. I don't understand why they didn't have that from the get-go, because that would make a whole lot more sense.
Yeah, but it wouldn't make a whole lot more money.
Ha. Touche.
Fair enough. Greed! Yay!
Yeah. And then, of course, they didn't buy the FalloutFirst.com domain, and somebody bought that.
That shit's...
Bethesda doesn't think ahead. They really don't. They're like,
No, they think behind.
yeah, I mean, they're very reactive instead of proactive about anything. So,
I don't understand what happened to this fucking company.
You know,
Like, it's the same people in charge.
Did they get new management or something?
I don't
I
know.
fucking
I guess
don't
they
know.
got comfortable because they made
I mean, Pete Hines is still there.
but it's got
What's
to
his
be
face? Still there too.
Well, okay, to be fair, Skyrim had a bunch of bugs in it, which it still does in some places.
Well,
Mods-
most- for the most part-
when they launch.
yeah, but,
Yeah, most to be fair,
but that's the
Skyrim
thing
runs
though,
pretty
is
damn
like
well.
Bethesda, I guess, got comfortable with the fact that we're like, oh, okay, Bethesda charm, it's got a few bugs in it, but we still love this game anyway, and they're like, okay, it's fine.
Okay,
don't
there's a
worry
difference
about it.
between a few bugs and
But
76
that's what I'm
bugs.
saying. Is
76
they got
game
too
crashing bugs.
comfortable. They just became too complacent with the fact that everybody was going to give them a pass because they were Bethesda.
They looked at two things. One, people wanted to play Fallout together, and two, games as a service was starting to blow up. So why not just mesh those two and create something which, in theory, Fallout 76 would be a good idea. But they literally just shit the bed. Like, constantly. It's unbelievable that they were like, okay, this game has a few bugs, let's go ahead and release it. Okay, well, this is a pile of crap. Let's try to mold it into something decent. All right, more crap. Whatever, we'll just put that on top. We'll just keep moving it down the line. And it's done nothing. It has not evolved at all. It is just still a pile of crap. And that they have not done anything with.
I don't. Here's the thing: is like you said, it's an idea that everybody was like, "Oh, this is a cool idea." Because if you remember when the announcement happened, everybody was just excited about it, except Grif. Grif goes, "I'm gonna have to sit back and watch because I don't know that." Because to her, it was a single player experience. That's what it always should have been. So I get that, and I think there's a lot of people that reacted that way too. But I think a lot of people were like, "I like the idea of having this multiplayer version of the wasteland to where we can all just kind of walk through." And I just don't understand how you're able to build games like Fallout 4 and then fuck up Fallout 76. Not once, but 100 times. It doesn't make sense to me. Like,
It's a
They should
mystery.
have just pulled back, released it in early access, fixed it so that it was solid, and then fully released
Well,
it.
and even when they launched it, they said at the time, they're like, this is an experiment for us. We don't know how it's going to go, which was my first red flag. If they're releasing a $60 game and it's an experiment and they don't know how it's going to go, should have been an early access game for $40 and then had their community support them from there. But instead, they plowed on through like it was a full finished AAA game and threw it out there in the wild, and it was just a big, giant shitfest. And then they were like, oh, okay, well, I mean, we didn't really know what we were doing, so I guess we'll just keep on going.
not doing
know?
things that's wrong.
Yeah. Like, you guys, pull in. Stop releasing stuff. Fix what you have. Internally test things. Like, I don't understand why they don't have a test server. They should have known about that storage bug if they had an internal test server in which they've tried it out on. The same thing if they had an internal test server where they actually tested whether or not private servers worked. But they didn't test any of it. They just released it to you to test for money. Pay us to test our broken shit. It's broken. Okay, thanks. We still got
It's
your cash.
crazy to me.
That kind of stuff makes me lose respect for companies real fast. And Bethesda is a company that I always thought would kind of at least break even on everything. And no, they are not. Not anymore. Bethesda, why? Why is everybody losing their collective minds right now?
All the companies we praised before just.
Well, what it is all of the companies either partnered with or internally decided we need to make an infinite amount of money. There's not an infinite amount of money to be made. So you overspend, you mismanage, and then things get really shitty and you need extra cash, which is maybe what's going on with Bethesda. They needed the extra cash. I mean, I don't know.
I got a
Is that
question.
bad off?
Does Bethesda actually make the game or they publish the game?
They're the
Because I know like with
devs.
with like Doom and stuff like that, they're more of the publisher than they are the actual
Yeah, well, Doom is id,
development.
but
Right.
no, the Fallout series is.
It is Bethesda, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
I'm checking the developer just to make sure.
Because they bought the rights from the original, right? And then continue
Yeah,
on.
developers are Bethesda Softworks and Bethesda Game Studios Austin.
Yep. So
Yep.
yeah, they're making it.
Designers Todd
Not very
Howard
well.
and
No
Emil-
excuses. Can't say, hey, it wasn't us. It was one of our studios. We're on it now.
Yeah, that's
It
not
is
a
you.
third party issue. That's a first party issue.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Bethesda, get your
They're,
shit
they're
together.
trying to recover the money from all the replacement nylon bags.
I guess so. I mean, it's got to be what it is. They needed some quick cash and thought this was going to be a sure way to make some mad money really quickly. And they probably did make some money because the $100 buy-in is way better of a deal than the $13 a month because it's $12.99.
Oh hell yeah.
So $13 a month or $100 right out the gate. So I guess they were banking on making a couple $100 and calling it a day.
Literally.
I guess.
I don't know.
It's weird to me. I mean, it almost feels like that Bethesda just needs to give up on making games and just publish. Because Rage 2 was pretty good, and that was id and Avalanche together.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Fallout 4 wasn't bad. They're fine if they're developing single player content. Their multiplayer thing with Fallout 76 just went terrible, and the PR department decided to be equally as bad as the game. So I
Is
mean,
Elder Scrolls them?
yes.
Or is that...
Nope, that's
Okay.
a Bethesda game. And then Starfield or whatever that we'll get in like 2077. That'll be them.
I don't understand that one.
Elder Scrolls 6 in 2022, calling it now.
Theoretically.
12 years after, or 10 years after Elder Scrolls 5. Every 10 years we'll get a new Elder Scrolls that they can sell us for the 10
And see,
years
I'd be fine
afterwards.
with that if they were using that time to develop something worthwhile. But obviously they're using it to do Fallout 76. Which is just sad.
Yep. Yep.
Thanks for making it depressing, you guys. Speaking of other games that'll come out in a couple of years or soon-ish, Last of Us got delayed. It'll be next year.
May 29th.
Yeah, May 29th, which I feel like the first part of next year is already starting to stack up pretty significantly. But we had that happen this year too, where a lot of games launched right around the mid to end of February and early March. Just so many slammed in there. And I wonder if part of that decision, because again, that's what they're looking at for next year, was let's move it back some so that we can get it out of the main group here.
Probably, but it's also May 29th is perfect because it's about 6 months before the PS5 releases. So you release that, you get it like boosted, everybody is fucking raving for it, and then you release the PS5 with the Last of Us Part 2 remastered,
which is what
and
they
boom,
did with the first Last of
That's
Us.
exactly what they did with the
Yep.
first one. Yep.
boom, it sells like fucking hotcakes again. So I mean,
And see,
you
and then
have
you
people
end
that
up
are gonna
with
double
the-
dip like crazy.
Yep, you end up with that problem of, I know I really loved the first game. Do I buy the second game at launch and then buy it again when I got a PS5 in 6 months? You know?
I mean,
Yeah, I
is
guess
what
it depends on how
is.
you feel about the second game. Like the first
Yeah.
game, it was worth buying the
Yeah.
game
first
again.
game, I had zero problems buying the PS4
Exactly,
version.
and I guarantee that's part of the reason why they're pushing it back too. It's like, all right, we're gonna make sure that this motherfucking thing is spotless. It runs well. It's good story, good gameplay. Everything is gonna fucking get check marked, and people will want to buy it again.
Yep.
Boom.
Oh,
I mean,
my-
Naughty
and you
Dog
make it
doesn't
look
really let
as
us-
good as you possibly can.
No. You make it look really good, but you hold it for the remaster to where it just looks unbelievable, and then people are like,
That's
oh,
an
hell
easy.
yeah.
Well, the whole idea behind that is though, like if you got the PlayStation 4, you got the Pro, there's going to be a difference in version there because you're upscaling to 4K anyway on the PlayStation. But the whole idea is, if you think about the way the lifespan of a console is, it's going to be, if you look at the beginning, it doesn't look much different than the previous generation. But if you look at the end, it's got to look really good to push you to that next generation, which is what Last of Us did last time. because all of us are like, holy shit, this is on the same system I bought however many years ago.
Yeah.
Holy crap. If you go back and look at the games, it's different. And so then now you go into it and you're like, oh, wow. But I think that's the reason, like, even the new Call of Duty, this is the last Call of Duty that's going to be pretty much on. I mean, you're going to still have those ones that are going to be in between, right? But this is the last one that's going to be on these two systems, and then next year we're going to have,
You
the
don't
new
think they're
one
gonna
that'll come
split
out.
it like they? Because didn't they? Well, never mind. I was gonna say, didn't they split them before? But they did, and the 360 version of whatever
Was
Call of
just
Duty
maps.
that was just terrible. Yeah,
It
it
was
was
so
maps
bad.
that looked like
There
garbage.
was no campaign, and the campaign was very, very lazily done. It was like, well, instead of this car SUV on the that's normally on the maps of next gen, we're just gonna replace it with a giant block.
Yep. Here's a box.
Yeah.
It's orange.
And it's still $60.
Yep.
That was so bad.
I almost forgot about that, and then I was like, no, wait, that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
Interesting.
So it's gonna be interesting to see where it ends up progressing. I think.
My
for
guess
sure.
is-
And
though,
also
I'm
the
gonna-
release day is right before E3 of next year too. So
Oh,
you'll
yeah.
get it, and then they'll announce the PS5 at E3, and then they might go to E3. I doubt it, but
No, I think they have to go to E3 this year
I
'Cause
think
of the
they will,
I think they're
just
gonna
so
have-
that they can push the PS5.
because Microsoft is going to be producing basically most of those consoles have got to come out right around there, and I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo announces another one too.
Yeah,
So
maybe.
Yeah,
because we're about due.
yeah, an upgraded Switch.
My guess is
Mm-hmm.
with The Last of Us Part 2, I will probably end up buying it for PS4 and then having to wait a little while because I probably won't be able to buy a PS5 right out of the gate in summer. So
It looks like it's going to be $500. Rumors floating around for $500 for it,
we'll have to see closer to time.
which is a little expensive for sure for new
I mean,
consoles,
it's
but
not-
that's just kind of how it is
Well,
these days.
either way, I'm gonna wait because there's it's probably gonna be the same issue as last time where it's not enough hard drive space and
Oh yeah, design flaws right out of the gate, like everything else.
Yeah, within a year they're gonna upgrade a better version.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, speaking of game releases, it looks like EA is going to be coming back to Steam, which does not surprise me at all.
Interesting. No, it doesn't. Although what does surprise me is that there was not an exclusive deal with Epic.
Origin knows where, or EA knows where to go.
Well, EA knows that right now is the perfect time to make their comeback story happen because so many other companies, Bethesda looking at you right now, are making some serious mistakes. Blizzard looking at you right now. That EA is finally, maybe if they can do it right, if they really, really, really play their cards the right way, they might be able to get back into gamers' good graces. And one of those steps, because they know how much everybody hates Epic right now, and then the Epic exclusivity, they're like, we have our own exclusive platform, but
And they
it's
know
not really
Microsoft
benefiting
is
us.
coming to it too, so they're like, oh yeah, let's go ahead and
So-
drop some of these big names up on the Steam platform.
It's a good move, like strategy-wise. That's a great.
It's a good
business
marketing
plan.
move.
Yep, it is
sure.
because it makes you look like a good guy, and it gets your games to more people. People
Yep.
that didn't buy them before because it wasn't on Steam because you had to. Go
I
to
will be
Origin.
interested to see what they end up doing with EA Access on that. Like if it's going to be to where they're going to have a way for those systems to work together to where you can purchase the EA Access through Steam.
I don't think so.
That
'cause
one,
I
I
do it
don't.
over.
I think that'll just stay on the
yeah,
Origin
you'll still have to
platform.
have
Yeah.
the Origin launcher, just like you do with literally every other company
Ubisoft and the
that
rest of
has a
them.
launcher. You'll still have to have that, and Steam will open that for you. But I don't think they'll be allowed to sell their service essentially through that because that would be really tricky. And I don't think Microsoft's going to be able to offer Game Pass buys through that either.
No,
I
you have to
think-
do that. Like you can buy your account and then you have to download it from their store, and then
Yeah.
it's a whole separate app on
So
their own,
that'll
which
all
lets them
still
kind of
probably
control it.
Be separate.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But I think it's a good move for EA to decide to put their stuff back on. I mean, to be honest, that was one of the things that motivated me to buy games on Origin to start with, is because I wanted to play the whole Mass Effect trilogy, but Mass Effect, do you want to say Mass Effect 2 or something like that, wasn't on Steam. It was like one game from each series, Dragon Age and Mass Effect, that was missing on Steam.
Well, then you had Dead Space that they ended up removing 3. Because
Yeah.
3 was one of their launch titles for the EA Origin.
Which, Dead Space 3,
Yeah,
that
it was
was the one that they
anyway,
filled with
but-
microtransactions.
Yep.
But this, like I said, if EA can do it the right way, they might be able to garner some of that goodwill
Good
back.
faith.
Yeah. Especially since everybody else is really, falling face down in the mud right now. Maybe they're going to be able to climb up out of the mud pit on all the bodies of the other companies. We'll find out.
It'll
So,
be good.
Now I just have this picture of them crawling on top of Bethesda and Blizzard, like everyone covered in mud, and they have this thing. Look what we got. Look what we're doing, guys.
it's like Marcus climbing out of the body pit and
Well, Blizzard just made a
Detroit.
big hire.
Yeah.
Blizzard just made a big hire. They ended up hiring the Microsoft guy, right? The second the guy that's been there forever.
I don't really have a whole lot of faith in that being doing anything for them at this point, though. BlizzCon's this weekend. We'll find out. I'll be watching Twitter because I'm not watching the actual
Well, he's
BlizzCon.
worked there a week, so I don't really see him making.
Yeah, I
much
doubt
impact
he's gonna
on
be
Well,
doing
no,
it.
I just want to know what's going to happen as far as like the actual general
Oh,
feel
man.
of the conference goes. So,
I've got a feeling it's going to be a shit show.
I don't want
Yeah.
people to be mean to the people that didn't have any say in that, but at the same time, like, you can't just be like, well, none of these people I can deal with directly at any hand in it, so I should just stay quiet. Because you're never going to get to talk to the people that made that call.
Here's what I wish would happen. I really do, because BlizzCon's gotten bigger and bigger every year. I wish their numbers would drop down to 2 or 3 years ago, like those numbers.
I think it will. I think virtual tickets this year have sold, like, super poorly. I mean, some people were buying them for some of the stuff, the content that came with the pass, like the skins for Overwatch, or it used to be mounts. You used to get mounts or things like that for, WoW, but now I think it's...
Pets.
I think you get, like, a pet and
You get
an
2
outfit,
pets.
a transmog outfit.
Yeah, a transmog outfit.
That's like a onesie pajama.
Yeah, a couple other things for the different game, things for Overwatch.
But I think
and shit like
that their ticket sales for the virtual ticket have dropped this year because people are like, well, we don't want to support you. Same. I mean, we're not.
I can't wait to see Twitch chat when they do their opening ceremony. It's gonna say nothing but free Hong Kong. It's just gonna be spammed with free Hong Kong. You're just gonna only see that flying.
Yeah.
We still stand with Hong Kong for the record.
Yep.
Always for the record.
Yep. You guys want to talk about this Twitch and Mixer thing since you mentioned Twitch? Is that a
I'm
yes?
all happy for it.
You mean Epic Games version 2?
I don't really think that's the same. I think this is more like NBC's newscaster getting a better job at CBS because they're paying better. So,
But I mean, how is that any different than Epic?
Paying you better.
The-
to put your games
instead
on
of-
there.
Yeah, you're
Instead of,
you're paying better for it.
Yeah, instead of spending money to improve their shit, and or in this case, support some of their streamers, and
Like,
try,
that's a
trying to
lot
get
of money
them
you could
name
drop on your
recognition.
own people.
They're just buying.
Trust me, they pay them a lot.
Yeah,
They
they're just
pay-
buying.
I came up with this perfect analogy too that I told Grif. Okay, so Microsoft built this grove, and all of these trees started growing, and it's this beautiful vineyard of all of their growth and whatnot. And they said, this isn't big enough. Our trees aren't growing big enough, fast enough. So instead of figuring out a way to get them to grow more, let's go next door, buy the biggest motherfucker we can find, and plant it in our yard. So they did that. And now, unfortunately, that tree is so big, it's going to cast a shadow over the rest of the vineyard. Now, they did it again. Now they've got 2 big-ass trees covering up the rest of the vineyard.
I would
So
disagree
now-
with that.
So now, whenever anybody looks at Mixer, the only 2 things they're going to see is Shroud and Ninja. Now, when they went to E3, they had an opportunity to take some of their streamers. Instead of the NFL stars, 'cause no one gives a fuck. They're not
I would
gamers.
agree
We
with
don't
that.
know
I
who
think
they
that it
are.
would have been more fun to watch people that knew how to, that were part of the Mixer community. Like, these are our streamers. These are our people that we want to really help elevate. But
we
instead
want
they're like,
them
here's some
to be
NFL
named for
stars.
Mixer. Yeah,
that
which
you
I don't
people
fucking
as gamers
understand.
very obviously care lots about.
Yeah, I don't understand why they did that, but now they did take quite a few of their, like, on the showroom floor, but the problem was they didn't have a showroom floor. They did the same thing that fucking EA did, which is did an off-site thing at E3, and I'm like, why would you do that? They were like, because everybody I talked to at West that was at E3 was like, dude, like, it was amazing. You go into this big dome that they'd set the whole thing up, but it made no sense because it was a block down the road. So everybody had to move on down there in order to be able to see it. And it was like, instead of actually being on the floor itself, which is technically what they had was bigger than the floor could handle. But at the same time, they were trying to create an event, and Microsoft needs to work on their marketing more than they do anything else.
Yes.
It's the same thing I said. Like, we were so looking forward to to PAX West because Ninja had just joined the platform. So we get to PAX West and we show up. Xbox isn't there. It's their own fucking backyard. Why are you not there? I don't give a shit if you have Sea of Thieves on every one of your goddamn TVs. Just why aren't you there?
Was Ninja there?
Ninja was not there. So
Wow.
but Ninja had previous engagements that he had set up before that, so there's a reason for it. And then, but the other thing was the Mixer booth was a third the size that it had been the previous year. This would have been the year Twitch has pulled out of everybody's con but their own.
Right. I mean, it's the same thing Blizzard did. Is they pulled out and they do their own now.
Right. So they pulled out of everybody else's con. So why wouldn't you be just as big, if not bigger?
Why would you fill that hole? With your
Why
platform?
would you not try to be the representation for PAX West, especially since it's your own backyard? But instead they shrunk down, and their place was packed. Like, all of us were packed in this one little area, and people were coming by the whole time. If it'd been bigger, like, it'd been that much more people that had been
traction.
there. Right. And see, like, Facebook Gaming was there the year before. Well, Facebook Gaming, all they did this time, instead of having like an actual thing, they just sponsored booths. That's all they did. Here's
Facebook
a VR
gaming
booth sponsored by.
Seems so weird to me and bizarre.
Yeah, it's so strange. But what Facebook Gaming did really well is they had this massive party for all streamers. Didn't matter what platform you're on. All you had to do is show up. And everybody was going to that. It was the talk of the town type of thing. It didn't end up as good as everybody had wanted it to be. Well, you know, they just have to work on what they're doing. Now, as for bringing the other ones in, this is the way I look at it, is this. I think right now you have a finite amount of people that are going to Mixer when it comes to viewing. Mm-hmm. So if you have, but you have more people that are trying to stream. So let's say you have 500,000 people that are watching a day, which it's lower than that, but let's say it's 500,000 people watching a day. Now, if you bring two of the biggest streamers over, you now have, in their case, I'm going to say 60,000 total that actually moved over, because I think not all those are going to stay that actually watched on those first days. Mm-hmm. So you got 60,000 extra people that are now watching. So now you're at 560,000 people that are watching a day, and have that potential to grow some of those others, because what they're doing.
Oh, so what you're saying is the trickle down effect. You think that some of those 60,000 will go down?
In which they have. I've watched some of the ones that are, there's still top streamers that are on Mixer, but instead of their numbers being at, let's say 500, they're now at 1,000 watching at a time. So, and it's because they're finding new material that's there. Now, some of the things that they do need to look at is, how do we change the format enough to where it appeals to those people that are coming over? Because I think it's, when you're looking at Mixer and you're looking at Twitch, those don't look the same. You know, it's the same way with like driving a car or whatever. Some cars just feel right to you, and you don't like the way a car drives another way. In this case, that's what they need to change. They need to change and make it to where it's just similar enough, but improved, so people can understand why they're moving over. I think the streamers understand why they're moving over, other than a steady paycheck.
I was going to say, it's money, definitely.
Yeah, other than a steady paycheck. But I mean, I can't blame somebody. If you're going to pay me $20 million and I know I'm making $20 million that year, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I can't
you know,
argue
versus
with
the risk
that.
off of the job.
Versus dependent upon whether or not people are able to donate it to me. I think that makes perfect sense to me. I know exactly how much I'm making this year. Awesome. You know, and then you can budget accordingly. Mm-hmm. But they are, you know, Shroud's always been very good at supporting the lower streamers. Ninja, not really as much, but he has once he moved over, and I think it was part of his contract too. If I'm honest.
Definitely.
But he's done a really good job of moving his 15,000 people that are watching him and pushing them over onto some of these other streamers. Now he doesn't. The only thing I have an issue with is because he's Ninja and what he's known for is Fortnite. Whatever he's playing, that's the section he goes into in order to be able to stream those people. So if you're not playing Fortnite,
You don't have a chance to get.
you don't have a chance to get hosted, which I'm kind of like, But I'm
it shouldn't
hoping
be based
Shroud
on,
looks
like,
at that differently.
a lottery system where you have to play Fortnite in hopes that the big dog will shine a little light on you.
Right.
I mean, that just seems. I like their idea of trying to bring people over to bring it out, and I think that Ninja kind of becoming the face was a good idea, but with the move with Shroud, it kind of changes that perception now, because now, I mean, I guarantee, because I was pretty convinced that Ninja was going to be the big dog, but Shroud is much better of a gamer than him, like, by far. Ninja's just a Fortnite dude, but Shroud is a fucking legend.
Well, Ninja's also a Halo guy, so we'll see how that goes.
Ninja's
We'll
got
see how that goes
brand
with those two.
recognition over Shroud, though. Like, you come to
Yeah, that
most
is very
gamers
true.
and go, do you know who, like, which one of these two names have you heard before, Shroud or Ninja? People are going to say Ninja, because he's just in everybody's face. So, yes, I'll give it to you. Shroud is more skilled and a better gamer, but Ninja has more brand recognition.
Yes, so they've got two now. They've got the brand recognition, the name. Now they have the skill. They're going to need somebody with variety.
Well, they signed that this morning. That's King Goliathan or whatever his name is. This is the guy that helped create Guardian Con. One of the guys they helped it.
No idea what that is.
No idea.
So and there's a lot of people that follow him. He does a lot of first-person shooters. But he's a morning streamer. He usually starts at 8
I was
a.m.
thinking
Eastern.
about that too. Is you've got the scheduling thing that could have worked out when you first brought Ninja
Ninja's an
over.
afternoon streamer.
Well, that's
Shroud
what I'm
is
getting
the
at.
evening streamer.
And now you've got a morning streamer, so all of that trickle that should go to smaller streamers is just going to go to the next bigger name. So really,
Yeah, they're just
Microsoft's
gonna
going to
rotate
start
around the
blocking
big
their
names.
own.
I don't think so.
trickle-down effect.
I don't necessarily think the same people that are watching Shroud and Ninja are necessarily going to check out the other.
Well, you just said
person.
he's
I
a
think they're
first-person shooter.
Yeah, but he's a variety streamer too. He's just the recent stuff that he's played. And think of the games that have come out recently. I mean, you got Call of Duty that just came out. You've got stuff like that are
Outer
first person
Worlds?
shooter. Destinies, right? But I mean, again, first person shooter.
Yeah.
Well,
mean,
mostly just
if you
first-person
want to
shooters.
shoot, it's kind of
Yeah, I mean,
again.
you
There's
can do whatever
something
you want.
a little off about that combat. I wish I could put my finger on it.
We're gonna have to see how this goes, because, and I do agree, it is the way Epic is doing it. But sometimes in this business world, you have to
I
be
just
aggressive
worry
with your movements.
that they're gonna start buying in so many big names that they do end up hurting the smaller streamers.
Yeah,
because
you're
that
going to
trickle
cast
down,
too much shade
like,
on the
once
the
you've
background.
got 10 big names that you've bought from Twitch over, and they're streaming basically round the clock in shifts because
You're
they
going
all
to run
have
into the
different-
same problem Twitch
Yeah.
has, is that too many big streamers dominate the small streamers.
Well, too many big streamers.
Well,
and the
but the
people
other-
who are looking for somebody new because their streamer just went off, they click on who's streaming with big numbers, they jump into that. It's
That is super fucking regular on Twitch too.
yeah,
You
just
always
go
go
to
to the
whatever's
top of the
top of
category.
the chart.
Well, but it's a lot easier to find the bottom at Mixer than it is at Twitch right now. Right now, you'll have, let's say you have Fortnite going. You might have 100 people playing Fortnite, where you'll have thousands playing it on Twitch.
That's
Yeah,
true.
but you're
So
going to run into the
if-
same problem too. You get enough of those big streamers moving over, you're going to have thousands of people
who
streaming.
decided to start streaming on
Yeah,
that
you're gonna-
platform because that's
You're
where
going to run into
so-and-so
the
is.
same problem.
Yeah, but not to the
It's a
same
good
degree. I mean,
problem
you're
to
looking
ha-
at
It's a
but
good
you're
problem
looking-
to have, but it's still
You're
gonna
looking
be a
at
problem.
right now. You're looking at 10% of the amount of volume that Twitch is running. 10%, and that includes with the new guys there. So it's going to take a while to get up to that level. If they're able to bring one more big dog in, I totally agree with you, because I think then you're fucked up. Unless they get a guy that's overnight, right? You get the guy that one Shroud ends, you got the
man.
next guy that goes in, right?
That would be rough, because now basically you go to Mixer to watch their programming. Like at any time
Well, and I
of the
feel
day,
like
you've got
that's
one of
kind
their
of
big
how
guys to
Microsoft
watch.
is looking at it a little bit too. I mean, considering that they are kind of filling in time slots with these people that they're strategically picking, it does feel like they're trying to set it up that way. I just wish that they would promote some of their promote stuff better. You're right. The marketing is
They
where
need to go
they
to cons.
fail.
They need to like.
Well, I mean, a lot
and-
of people are
unf-
still like me. You're streaming a game from your PC or your PlayStation on Mixer. Isn't that just a place for you to stream Xbox games? Because that's how they set it up to start with. That's what
Yeah,
everybody
that's-
thought it was. And that's why it's
Yeah.
just now taking off, is because people are like, oh, these big streamers are streaming whatever they want on it. So
Oh,
it
you
must
could
be
actually
for
stream
everybody.
anything?
You know, like,
Yeah.
Microsoft. Seriously, you know how to market better than this.
I will though. I will give them a shitload of credit for making their own rather than buying one. Looking at you, Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon should have made their own streaming service. Twitch should have stayed independent. Mixer should have made their own. Facebook should have made their own. And then you have a shitload
Facebook
of
did make their
competition.
own.
Well, I know, but that's how it should be. Companies should make their own
YouTube
instead of
also
just
has
buying
their
up
own streaming
something.
service. It's just nobody
Yes.
watches it.
If Twitch did not get bought by Amazon, everybody else would be a lot closer in growth than the way it is now. Because Amazon just was like, all right, billions, here you go, Twitch. And now Twitch is like, boom, fat guy on the street, just stomping over everybody. It's like, but how the hell are we supposed to compete with that
Well,
now?
and they had to invest into it. I mean, and I think that's the thing that, you know, like in Microsoft's case, they bought a company too, but they bought a much smaller company.
Beam.
Yeah, and then built it as their own and evolved it to what they wanted.
They just didn't evolve it with the best marketing.
And it's because they,
No,
I don't
no,
feel
I
like
totally
they
agree
knew
with
what
that,
they were
totally.
going through because it was still uncharted territory. Like Twitch was the big dog, and then everyone's like,
How do we do that?
that's working pretty well. We should figure out how to do that too. And so everybody's kind of working around, tiptoeing, trying to figure out how it works.
Well, I actually made it, like, it was funny because I made the account in August of like 2017, I think it was.
Your Mixer account?
My Mixer account. That's when I made it in order
Also,
to
another
watch a
misconception.
stream.
I just assumed if you had an Xbox account, you had a Mixer account.
Oh yeah,
Because
so
you
did
couldn't
I. I
watch
still
Mixer on your
assumed that.
Xbox. I just assumed it was.
No, you had to sign in, yes, but it was one of the,
But is it
it's
still
one of the,
your Xbox account?
you can sign up at any account that you want to, but if you want to, like, so if you wanted to create an opposite account of that, like account that was
Like, if I
separate
just wanted
from
to
it,
use
you
my
could.
Gmail account because I'm only going to watch it on my PC, then I could do that.
But if you hook it up with your
Did not
Xbox
make
gamer
that
tag,
clear.
then you get drops and whatnot from it. So I mean, I
That's
wouldn't
correct.
use anything else but your Xbox account.
Well, some people want the anonymity too, right?
I
So
guess.
like,
You want? Oh, the only
I mean, you
people that
could
want
watch-
anonymity are the trolls who don't want to get found out who they are.
and those people that have podcasts and families and, you know, stream live, you know, all those people too.
Why do they want anonymity? I mean, it's the internet. Especially if you put your face out there, you lose your anonymity.
Because I don't
But
want people
other
knowing my
people
kids.
in your game would know
People can find you though.
who you are.
I know, I
because
understand
they
that.
see you
That's
in
why the VPNs
multiplayer games,
exist.
Right?
Do I know?
I guess I'm a little confused about the anonymity side of it because people see your gamer tag anyway.
Yeah, they know who you are. You use Oaktree
yes.
for everything.
Well, I
I'm
know that.
confused. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but if I created one that was Bob Gooberhead, then
You're
I can
telling
watch
me you
it'd
would
still be
change-
Bob Gooberhead.
Please
Wait,
don't.
what? So wait, you're gonna make a different
So doing
account
that now.
just to watch somebody? I mean, what the hell are you watching?
Some people do. Well, I mean, some people do. Sure.
For
That
why?
way they don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm-
Yeah, I mean,
someone
Most of us have,
famous-
like, if you have it, I mean, that's the idea is because you just want to be able to have a regular discussion instead of, like, especially if you're a bigger streamer on a platform, you want to be able to go in and have a regular discussion and treat it like somebody else that's part of the actual group instead of who you actually are. Let's say you're Ninja. If
Yeah.
you go into a chat and you're Ninja, are you Ninja or are you just a part of the person that's part of the regular chat? Everybody's going to talk about you instead of the streamer you're watching.
Don't go into it. You lose that. It's like a celebrity trying to wear a mask to go
Yeah,
out in
but
public.
okay, to be
You
fair,
lose
celebrities
that.
do still have to go to like the grocery store. You don't want to mob people at the freaking grocery store.
Yeah, right. Rich people don't go to grocery stores. Half
They
the
do
people
go
don't
to
even
grocery
know.
stores,
They
thank you very
send
much.
somebody to go to the
get
grocery
coffee.
store, or they have.
Hey, you know what? If
pickup.
that was true, we would not have so many candid photos of celebrities without makeup on going to the grocery store or getting their
hiding under
Starbucks.
fucking hoods and hiding.
Or Britney Spears, like 20 years ago, beating a car with an umbrella. I mean, come on, they have to go places.
Right?
But I mean, that's the
Places to
trade-off.
go when
You're
there's the
rich,
Smash.
but you lose your
Yes.
your regular
Yeah,
person
but
status,
online you can be who you are, who you want to be.
which is a good and a bad thing because people use that as a negative too, because they will troll you, be
Some people
mean,
do,
and all sorts
but
of
not every
things.
So now you want to explore a platform that you like, and you know that people are going to be that way, but you want to explore it and do that.
But
So
you
you
could-
create an alternate account.
But you don't
that
have to
people
talk.
don't know who you
can
are.
just watch.
I know exactly who's in my chat every time. And I don't have to, and same thing for you. You have a button that you can click and see who everybody that's
Yeah,
on there
you
if you
can
want.
see,
Yeah.
but that's for the streamer to see. And I mean, generally,
Everybody
most
else
of
can see that too.
Generally, most
Yeah.
people aren't going to go looking.
I have actually had people do that before.
But I mean,
That's
even so,
weird.
even if Ninja is sitting in
Yeah, I
your
agree.
chat, you what? You just gonna fucking spam Ninja until he answers?
Ninja.
No.
It's
No,
like, then
I
you realize
wouldn't, but
it's
somebody
Ninja with a funny
could. That's the whole
character.
point.
Yeah, I mean, they're just gonna fucking spam. I think that's just. I mean, that just shows how interesting the
Well, they
streamer is.
can
Then, if they're
go
so
with
interested
a
in just a
different
random
name.
person.
They can do a different name and like Oak said, like talk to them without it being, oh hey, that's Ninja, you know, let me you know, act all you know,
Different.
professional all of a sudden. They can get
Right.
an idea of how this person normally is to the beauty viewing audience when it's not someone, you know, famous.
I
talking
see.
to
I
them
see
and-
both sides of that. Like I see
Yeah.
the argument of the anonymity because you are somebody that's known on a platform. But I also see the downside of it being, while I can create 30,000 free Gmail accounts, I'm gonna troll this guy 30,000 different, you know, accounts.
Yeah, but I don't want. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't want somebody to troll somebody for it. I'm just saying that person, if they're famous,
It's a
Yeah.
double.
what they're doing, it gives them the
sword.
opportunity to be able to enjoy a platform and have a conversation with everybody. Let's say it's an interesting conversation that's going on. Now you can get into it, and nobody knows who you are. You're just the average person that's just talking into the same conversation. And the other thing is, nobody holds you accountable for what you're saying either, because they don't know it's you.
I will trade that though. I will trade my anonymity for fame.
You say that
If
now.
I could have as much money as Ninja, and then every time I walk into a room, everybody just screams at me, I will fucking do it. I'll
and
hit
then I'll
that
be a
button so
hermit,
damn
and you'll
hard.
never see me again.
Exactly. I just be like, yeah, cool. I'm famous. I walk.
Grass
into a
is
room and
always greener.
everybody's-
You never know until you get there. And once you do
screams
get
at
there,
me.
it might be one of those things where like, wow, this is a lot of pressure. I have no
Hey,
private
I've already
life.
got the money. I can dip out after that point.
Well, no, you have a 3-year contract. You have to.
Oh, that's fine. 3 years? 3 years of my 80-year life? I'm down with
I
it.
will stream
I'm
from
good.
my house. Can't
Exactly.
get me.
I don't need to do anything. I got a 3-year contract. Just
Funny.
do the obligations and you're
A
good
3-year
to go.
contract and look at this fierce guard dog that will guard me. He's so scary.
Right?
Yeah. Intimidating.
The scariest.
He's dreaming right now. Dreaming about running.
Dreaming about food.
Probably running after food, knowing him. I love that this conversation evolved because I did not know that you could sign into Mixer without an Xbox account. Sorry.
Just have to have a,
See, there's just so much that Mixer didn't make very clear when they launched their service, and then when they like proliferated that service.
but it
There's
goes
so
back to
many
their marketing.
misconceptions.
But I don't think they promote their product properly. Period.
all.
Like I think that their commercials and stuff that they had were really great that they created. They created them last year, ran them for 2 weeks, and then they stopped making them. I'm like, why would you do that? That's so weird. And it was right after they did what they called season 2, right? Season 3 would have started in August. Hadn't happened.
There are seasons.
Seasons of Mixer.
Yeah, basically what they're doing is like year
Today
1,
I
year
learned.
2. They're doing seasons because it goes back to Fortnite, right? Well, now you got
Oh,
chapters.
God.
So now what do you do?
Don't follow the
Yeah.
Fortnite model just because it's cool. It's like
Or League of Legends or any of those that call themselves seasons.
seasons are just so. But it's like I understand seasons because you get different gear passes or junk. What do you get in seasons on a streaming platform?
They changed how they did the Spark system. The
Okay,
Ember
first of
system,
all,
the
seasons are for games, not for platforms.
They're also
You
for TV
evolve
shows.
and upgrade your platform all the time. You don't have to
I would
label
agree
it
with that.
anything. You just keep updating it. People like that. Like, oh, cool, we got a new update. Like Steam does. It'd be weird if Steam was like, all right, we're in season 12. We're going to come out with this stuff this year. Hold on to your butts.
But
they're
you
like,
won't
no,
see,
we're
like,
gonna.
we came out with all of our content that we told you about in the season pass by April. So you don't get any new updates from April to December. Sucks to be you guys. I hope you like what we gave you.
Yeah, I like how Steve does it. Like, they're all right, cool. This is in the beta. You guys can play with it, see how it works. Oh yeah, this is coming out right now too. We've been working on this in the background, and this comes out in a few months, and this is fixed. It's like cool, constant updates, cool. They just keep it coming, and I've got to wait for season 3 of.
It feels like
Twitch.
It's trying to be too structured, and it does feel like it's trying to tack on to something popular like Fortnite, where seasons are readily recognizable. Just like that.
For an early access game, for the record, never forget that Fortnite is still
Never
in
forgetting.
beta.
No, it's chapter 2 of the early access.
Oh,
So we've
my
already
bad.
completed chapter 1 of early access.
How many
So
now we're
we're
chapters
done
do you
with
get
2.
before the book is finished and
I don't
you get
know.
full release?
We're done with alpha. finally.
22.
2022. Good luck.
We're down. You think that's what it is? Like the seasons are like 0.12 version of the game? Like
Oh yeah, I'm sure. They just kind of keep
so
stacking
now we're
it.
at 0.201.
Yeah, but I want to know what the average spend is per person per season now. Now that we've had one season complete, like how much are you planning to make before the game's actually launched?
I don't know. I mean, they were making
Are you ever
200
going to
what was
launch it?
It was $200 billion that they were making per month at one point in the top part of it, right?
Look, just give me one
So-
month's worth of that and you'll never hear from me again.
So 200. Give me 1 month's worth of. I'm telling you right now, if you did it right now, buy the town we're in.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
All right,
And I'm
everybody
buying
else,
your
this
house,
is mine.
and I'm buying your house, and I'm buying your house.
Oh,
Why? Because
man.
I don't like you. Got your house now.
Eminent domain, out of my way.
Hey, eminent domain is for the government, not for the civilians.
Hey, I am the government now. Look how much money I have.
Yeah, you
I
probably
have
more than ours,
Fortnite
right?
money. I can be my own country.
Or 200 million. I said 200 billion, didn't I? 200 million. Give it to me.
200 billion. Yeah, you have more money than our country. 200 million. Eh.
Eminent
200
domain.
billion per month.
Griftopia is real.
We end up
Yeah.
with 1.4 trillion dollars at the end of it. Yes. I'm richer than Apple and Android and all of.
I am the
Buying
richest
you up.
motherfucker on this planet. I am the 1% now.
I'll tell you what. Take half my money in taxes. Done.
I'm still the richest motherfucker in 1%.
Right. Oh
And
my
I
god.
fed the world.
This just derailed to.
It did. You dangled the prospect of a ridiculous amount of money in front of us, and we're all like, "What would I do with that money if I could? If I had
now
Fortnite
everybody
money,
knows.
what would I do? You know, probably have a
That's a
better
good- that's
storefront
good
than
pricing.
Epic.
100%. 100% better.
Come shop
I
at
don't know
Griftopia
if
Super
maybe they
Center.
didn't
We
hire
have
the shopping
carts.
cart guy. Maybe they didn't hire the shopping cart guy, right?
You had so much money at the beginning of
Maybe-
your game dev game that you bought, like you decided what you were gonna buy, and that wasn't one of them.
By the way, you holding the mic is hilarious.
It's for my headset. I'm trying to make sure I don't lose it, so if I put my hands on it regularly, I'll remember where it's at.
Fair enough.
Or else I'll sit
Fair
it
enough.
down, and then I'll have to ask Chicken to find it for me, and it'll be like right in front of me.
Mhm.
You don't know how often that happens. All right,
Yeah,
well,
I do. It happens to me a lot too.
do we want to get out of here? I gotta record a couple of Red Deads and
Sure.
try to finish my stupid conversation in Outer Worlds. I need to convince somebody to leave a place.
Is there a lot of dialogue, like a massive amount of dialogue, or is it more like Fallout, where it's just...
It's, there's more dialogue than Fallout 4 has. I feel like it's more akin to, like, early Dragon
Borderlands,
Age.
where you talk to a lot of people, go out, do your
Well, you
thing,
don't
come
get
back and talk to
choices
more
or
people?
anything in Borderlands when you talk to people. Like, you don't have a dialogue option in Borderlands.
Right.
But it is more akin to, like, Fallout 3 probably is similar in dialogue choices and whatnot.
There's a
where
lot of dialogue in
There's
that
a
one.
lot of people to talk to, but it's not like every 2 steps you take, you've got to stop and have a conversation.
Because I feel like in Greedfall, they just went, we're just going to let the NPCs talk, and you get to talk a little bit, and then they just continue to answer your question in a lot of explanation.
Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
give you as much of that. And the upside is, I don't know how it is with Greedfall, but they got some really, like, nice voice acting for Outer Worlds, so the conversations you do have is pretty great.
I've got one guy that watches the stream that's from England, and he said that the British accents in Greedfall were really good. I don't know how many of them are actual British actors, but it was nice to know that he thought that the accents sounded good. Because to me, they all sound good, but I'm not from there, so... You know, I guess it's like somebody talking from the South, and I'm like, ooh, that's a horrible accent.
That is not what those people sound like. Yeah.
Nope.
Well.
So, all right. Anything else?
No. Next week's BlizzCon.
Ooh.
Expect a ranty show next week.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Don't you have people have phones?
Well, I mean, there's rumored announcements for Diablo 4, maybe Diablo 2 remastered. There's the WoW expansion, Overwatch 2. I'm sure we'll have plenty to discuss.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
You know, and
That'll
then
be interesting.
possibly the shit show that goes along with it once the public is involved.
Right. That'll be good. We do appreciate everybody each and every week that hangs out with us at Infinite Respawn. As always, you can check us out on Twitter at InfiniteResPC. You can check me out personally at MDBOaktree. Check out Grif.
At Grif Slanum.
Check out Chicken.
At Elite Chicken 313.
Check out Baka.
Baka Pickle.
Also, make sure you go to Grif's YouTube channel where she's currently playing through Red Dead Redemption 2. Woot woot. You know, ponies. That's all you got to remember. Ponies. That's the way it works.
I'm going to get a new one soon.
And then right after you finish one of those, you go to twitch.tv/EliteChicken313, where he's been playing through WoW. Chicken, what do you got this week?
I got a very special present tomorrow. A one-day only stream of an alpha game that is called GTFO. It is a mix of Alien Isolation
You
and
got
Left
into
4
it?
Dead. Yes. And I get 4 codes. They're not even like there's no symbol, there's nothing for Steam. It is
it's
just
like you got a mystery
basic,
gift or whatever.
Basic motherfucking symbol. It's literally just a Steam logo that says game not available. And it is only available Monday. Can't even download it or do anything with it until Monday, and then you get to download it and play it, and they are allowing full stream of it and videos and whatnot because they said that they didn't want to go through the whole legal process of getting an NDA. So they just decided to make the game good enough during alpha to show everybody.
I like it.
Those are
Awesome.
big fucking words.
We've been waiting on that game since, what was it?
Like
it was
2 years ago when
it was
I
the Gaming
first
Award
saw
2
it.
years ago, right?
Yeah. They fucking
Yeah.
showed it off. So yeah, I'm ready. I've been watching this. They've been sending me letters. So finally I get to try it out myself. So that is
That's fucking
Monday.
awesome.
And tomorrow's WoW. Or tonight's WoW. Tomorrow's GTFO.
That's awesome, dude. Congrats on
Hell
that one.
yeah.
Also, make sure you go to mixer.com/MDBOaktree, where I'll be playing some more Modern Warfare, and then I'll be starting the Outer Worlds, so that should be interesting. But other than that, I think we're good.
Yeah,
I'm going to
should be
respawn.
good.
I'm Oaktree.
I'm Grif.
I'm Chicken.
I'm Baka.
Bye.
See ya.
Please hang up and try again.